And joining us on the line, great to welcome to Flow from the Weeping Willows, we have got Laura. G'day, Laura. How you doing today?
Very well, thanmes, Clayton. Thank you so much for having me on Flow FM.
It's great to be chatting to you, and I'd love to chat to the two of you at some stage, but I'm quite happy talking to you right now. And I just
we'll have to make it
happen. we got to make it happen. I know you're going to be over this way later in the year, but we'll talk about that later. But I just want to say, having listened to, because I've only been given the one track, but going and doing a bit of research on others, and one of the albums that I got to listen to a lot over my festive break was by Alison Krauss and Robert Plant. I'm sure you're aware of the album, and you probably know where I'm about to go, because listening to the two of you, it just took me right back to the afternoon where I sat back listening to the two of them, and I absolutely love them and their first album way back, House of Sand. And so just listening to you guys, I think you're kind of like the Aussie version of Alison and Robert. That's my view.
Oh, gosh, that's high praise, and thank you so much. What a lovely thing to say. That's completely made our day. We appreciate that. Obviously, we love both of those artists independently and together. There's something really magical. So thank you. That means a lot.
Oh, it just took me back in, because I've been a Led Zeppelin fan, a Robert Plant fan for many a year, but also Alison Krauss got introduced to her music back in the 90s, and sort of hearing her voice and just the two of them together, it was like, how did this happen?
Yeah, it's such an unusual combination.
But it works. And then just listening to the two of you, I am exactly the same. So tell us, how did the Weeping Willows come together? Give us a background.
Yeah, sure. So we actually came together because I was dragged along to a Lachlan Bryan and the Wilds gig back in, must be about 2008 now. Lachlan Bryan and the Wilds are a country band from over in Melbourne. And a friend took me along to see this show, Lachlan Bryan and the Wilds, and Andy was playing guitar in this band. And I thought, oh, he's kind of cute. And so we struck up a bit of a conversation and ended up together. I ended up singing backing vocals in the band. And then from there, Andrew wanted to start sort of writing his own music, and then we sort of started this little side project called the Weeping Willows, and gosh, how many years later, here we are.
Just like that. We should say that it's your Laura, and Andy is the other half of the Weeping Willows. And I'm just loving the music, just loving it, and it's one way of coming together. I'm not surprised that something amazing happened at a Lachlan Bryan gig, because it always seems to happen that way when you go to one of his gigs. You meet, you create a connection with someone you never thought you'd meet, and away you go. That seems to be standard.
Yeah, well, Lachlan's one of our greatest friends, and I've actually known Lachlan for over 20 years. So.
Oh. Well, you'd have some tales to tell, I'm sure.
Oh, I do. and vice versa.
To the style of music, that sort of alt-Americana style, why particularly go down that road? Because you could have gone in all sorts of directions, but why that road?
I guess I've just always been drawn to that sort of music. I mean, Andy, particularly when he started playing guitar, he got into guitar via Tommy Emmanuel, and then from Tommy Emmanuel got into Chet Atkins, from Chet Atkins got into Mel Travers, from Mel Travers got into Bill Monroe, from Bill Monroe got into all the sort of mountain music and the dark gothic Americana sort of thing. And I mean, really, I was the tag along, and I just sort of, learned a lot about the music through him and through Lachlan. Lachlan's first album when I met them was really much more that kind of dark gothic-y kind of country. I mean, it's moved on from now. He's evolved over the time that I've known him, but that's the music that we like and that we really listen to. We listen to, your Graham Parsonsy, and then your Secret Sisters more recently, and your Civil Wars and your Gillian Welsh sort of thing. So that's the music we love and listen to, and that's kind of what seeps into our music, I guess. And
listening to it, I also could feel that you could have easily taken the little side road into a real blues, very bluesy. You can hear it there, but you don't go there. You can hear it.
Yeah, and I think that's particularly in this album, I think, because we were listening to a little bit more of the blues. We're listening to a bit more of the Ma Rainey and the Blind Lemon Jefferson and your Robert Johnson and sort of thing. So once again, that kind of informs what comes out, if that's what you're listening to. So even though, we probably wouldn't be considered, strictly anywhere near the blues, there's a hint every now and then.
And there certainly seems to be a very much an enthusiastic sort of sense when Andy's playing. Listening to the track House of Sin, I got this real vibe that he's loving what he's doing. He really is. He's right in the moment.
He lives for it. There's not a day that goes by that he doesn't play his guitar. Even if we go on holiday, generally the guitar will come.
Yes, you're back in economy. He's up in business class with the guitar. Yeah, I get that.
Exactly. It's the baby.
Yeah. Does he normally take just one with him on holiday, or is there, it's got to narrow it down to three?
Yeah, just the one where's a holiday, but, there might be 2 or 3 on tour, so...
That is just, it's wonderful guitar stories we could go. But no, we've got to get back onto the music. So how's it been for you I guess, the last couple of years? Because getting out doing lots of gigs has been, unfortunately, something we all can do. But so how's it been for you? How have you guys been coping?
Look, I'd be lying if I said it hasn't been some dark days. We're from Melbourne, for anyone who doesn't know where we are. So we're in the city, most locked down city in the world for the past couple of years. But we did have pockets where we could get out and about. And actually, our last gig before the long one from last year was actually at the Stone Pony down in Wollonga area. It was in the end of May, and then we just got that show in, and then Melbourne was locked down the week after. So we were so happy because we were so looking forward to coming back to South Australia, and so we got there in May last year, and we'll be back again in May this year. So we were happy about that, but obviously after that, there was just endless months of not being able to do anything. But we try to do our best. We still put music out. We still do a few live streams and that sort of thing, and that kept us sort of sustained and feeling creative and that sort of thing. So we're just trying to stay positive and just looking to the future now, really.
That's all you can do, but at least you're able to do something, and I think that's the most important thing. And I found that with all the artists that I spoke to from Melbourne last year, that they were doing it because they loved it, but it was also their way of staying healed, I guess, and healing themselves through it all.
Absolutely. I mean, you do it because you have to, because it's who you are. It's not really. I mean, it is a job, but it's just sort of part of your being, and you just have to express yourself in a way, and it is healing as well, and connecting with people, even if it's not in the same room, being able to put music out there and try and connect with people even from a distance.
Well, as we can find out about gigs and all that just by going to your website too, theweepingwillows.com.au. And I'm just looking at your website now, and I'm watching this priest wandering around, and can you kind of fill me in? Everyone, check it out, folks. Go to theweepingwillows.com.au and you'll see the priest running along. But what's this all about?
So that on the website and also on our Facebook, you will find the new video clip for House of Sin, which we filmed a couple of weeks ago, and it just came out last Friday. Basically, House of Sin is a song about temptation and surrender and perhaps some bad choices that you can't undo. And it was quite a literal video clip in this time, but I'll let everyone go and check it out and see. But we had a lot of fun, and for a lot of people, if you go to it and watch the video clip, you'll recognise a lot of the Melbourne Americana scene helped us out.
Yeah. Yes, I was wondering if you had some friends there, because that's just sort of how it came across to me just looking at it. But, very interesting. The priest's going into a room that he shouldn't be going into, so we better leave it there, because this is PG rated too, we should point out.
Definitely check it out, though, if you're over 18.
He's got a smile on his face. He's enjoying himself.
That's right.
Now, speaking of other things, I understand you've got a gig at Tamworth too, because that's been rescheduled to April. So what's the special one in April that's coming up?
Yeah, so obviously the whole of the Tamworth Country Music Festival moved from January to April, and we were very lucky to have a show with the wonderful, amazing Mr. Brad Butcher, which has been rescheduled to the Tuesday, the 19th of April. It's going to be super fun. That's at the Capitol Theatre, which is a beautiful space, nice and air-conditioned, although it's not such a problem in April. But he's launching on one of his albums. We'll be launching one of our albums, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So anyone who is heading up that way, do jump on weepingwillows.com.au and grab some tickets. Why
not do it indeed? So it's Tuesday the 19th of April. That'll be a good one with Brad Butcher. I spoke to him a little while back about his album. It was a great little chat, and so I'm sure you're going to have an absolutely awesome time on that gig.
Yeah, I mean, we've toured with Brad before, and he's just such a gem. He's so talented and so funny and just such a beautiful human being.
So what's for the rest of the year, Laura? I know you've got this gig in April. You were coming here in May into SA. So what about the rest of the year? What's the plan at this stage?
Yeah, sure. So the plan, it's It's hard for Melbourneian to actually articulate things because everything's been cancelled so much. But the plan is to do an East Coast tour in March, April, May, and then a little bit into June. And then we do have plans to go to the UK and Europe in July, and then into the US in September. So please, everyone, cross your fingers for us and send us good vibes to make that happen.
Is there any sort of trepidation about heading overseas, or because of the recent events, or you're just, no, it's what we do where we cannot wait to get over there?
Yeah, look, all these gigs have been delayed and rolled over for the last 2 years. We're just super keen to get back. We've made so many amazing friends and connections over the past 10 years. We just want to see everyone again.
Well, when the folks in Europe, when they sit down to listen to an Aussie band doing the Alt Americana, what's the reaction? Because it would almost seem like it shouldn't happen to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's different in America as it is in Europe and the UK. Americans are fascinated. Like, why are you playing our music? But they also love it because it's such a novelty. It's like this, it's very strange. It's like, how do you know this, and what have you been listening to? So, I mean, we always have really great conversations with everyone in America. And then in the UK, it's really relatively new for us. But I guess they're so into storytelling, which is what we've found. So they love the style.
That they do. And the one thing I've noticed is that the Aussie alt scene, to me, the Alt Americana scene, there seems to be a real respect with it, that you want to make sure that you do it justice, you do it right, and I think that's why the reaction has been the way it has from overseas and from the Americans, and why the Europeans are loving it too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, obviously there's a lot of trailblazers. Obviously there's, Keith Chambers and Bill Chambers, but I feel, Lachlan, I'm not biased at all, but I feel like he is, he's a really strong figure in that, and his songwriting is impeccable, and he really has helped us over the years, break into the US and try and break into the UK as well.
Well, I've got my fingers crossed you'll get over there and
thank you so much.
Make sure you send us a postcard.
I will.
Just to prove it.
We were there, we did that, we got there.
I certainly wish everything goes well for you guys, and I know that everything's going to be successful for you.
Thank you so much, Clayton, and thank you so much for your support as well. We appreciate it.
It is our pleasure. Well, all the best to you and Andy and Laurie. If I've got the track here ready to go, I know the Flow for the Flow family, as we call them out there, are going to love this track, and they're going to love your album too. So if they can get along to that gig in Tamworth, if they're nearby, they're going to enjoy it. But if you could please introduce your song for us, and thank you so much for spending time with us today on Flow.
Thanks so much, Clayton, and thanks to everyone who's been listening. You've been listening to Laura Coates of the Weeping Willows. This is our brand new single, House of Sin, on Flow FM.
Sister, don't go astray. There's a place of old temptation from the devil's own creation. Some call it the house of sin. When light starts to fade, then souls are up for trade. The throne might get you high, but your dreams are gonna die, tied down in the house of sin. Those angels don't have wings, just smiles attached to strings. Another dime might buy you more. Close the door, 'cause I never ran away. The lust led me astray, like a fool paid the price. Now I'm living in the vice, forever in the house of sin. There will be no redemption, it's the devil's congregation. They call it the house of sin. They call it the house of sin.